We were all inside the Drumline together. Tone was high school. Yeah, Tone was the section leader. me and Rail, we was kind of Darius Miles in it type. And like so, we created in itself right there. Also, me starting my rap journey started with these three fellas right here. Yeah, A Dot,
not me. Right.
Rail, in which at his mama's house over the summer at the pool and listening to Jeezy and figuring out like, hey, let's try this.
Let's throw in the instrumental.
And so like that's the antithesis of our creative space, which evolved after college. We had made a group called The Port, which again, if you want to go even earlier, like the manifestation of even that came inside that same original moment. We said we're gonna go out to school. When we come back, we're gonna do something together, type. And so like the manifestation of it, like the beginning, the antithesis started from there. That made it to The Port. In The Port, Johnny was probably the dopest photographer in Charlotte, and so like he just so happened to work with a videographer that we that was contracted with The Port, and my own boy Keith, Lone Ranger. And so him and then another guy, Deep Black Photography or Jeff. Y'all might have seen him a couple times. They all work together. And so just by happenstance luck, my guy Johnny, right place, right time, got brought into The Port with us. And so for that, like we kind of like did a couple different projects. It was music. We did like some like short skit YouTube type. We actually had like an original.
What year is this, Rob?
This is all like 15, 16.
2014 through 15.
Yeah, Million Man March.
Yeah, we went to
Million Man March.
Yeah. Like, we did all those things together.
I got to interject because I did a pod where I talked about how I became to doing a podcast, and I talked about how I was an artist as well. And for those, like, we got music out there. So that's that track. The video might still be on YouTube, probably. So
I'm sure.
Yeah. So,
that shit ain't take that.
So like, when we was doing music then, podcasts didn't exist.
Right.
Right? Like,
I done heard some of your music, matter of fact. Like from okay, yeah, nah, that's fire, bro.
I appreciate that.
If y'all got
Yeah.
okay, nah, I'm putting some together now. Like, yeah, nah, I done heard your
word, appreciate that.
Yeah,
appreciate that,
okay,
bro.
yeah.
When at that time frame, as a creator, because I consider myself, I would self-proclaim as an artist, right? I feel like I'm an artist. I like to create things, and that's ultimately what I value over anything else. Like being able to freely find and express an expression, you know?
What G's saying is that I want y'all to look at the To Be Fair show, right? And early in the To Be Fair show, we was asking the happiness over income. He want to create more than just make he'll love to make $1 million, but if you had to choose, would you say
it's mutually exclusive? I don't care about money.
There we go.
If it's mutually exclusive, but the thing is,
I put him on our team, fellas.
If it's mutually exclusive, I don't care. I've never been driven by money.
And there we go.
Yeah,
because you're a creative.
But I like nice things.
Of course, no.
So that's what drives me to want to get.
That's why I started at that base.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the fact that like you're doing something now. Yeah. That didn't even necessarily, the idea and the concept didn't even like exist then. Like what were maybe for each of you, like what were some of the inspirations, especially at that early stage? I know for me, Combat Jack was like probably the first podcast where it was like not an interview show, but it was calling itself a podcast. That's probably the first one I heard like on SoundCloud, being at work, listening to Breakfast Club interviews and Combat Jack. I'd be curious to know for y'all, like that was the thing that, like I saw Charlamagne Breakfast Club. I started hearing Combat. Those are the first two. I was like, you know, I thought I could be like what Charlamagne is doing, or that I could do that kind of shit. What about for y'all?
For me personally, I'm gonna say I'm not the biggest podcast watcher.
I be watching.
I mean, there's a couple. I like 85 South Show, $1 Million Worth of Game, Brilliant Idiots. So, like the main ones, Joe Rogan. Like, but personally, I don't necessarily like really watch podcasts all the time, like or listen to it. Like there's the few that I'll run, but I'm not really a podcast like consumer, like as much as other people are.
Okay.
So it was just me wanting to just do something creative.
So what made you hop into it with your homeboy?
Just wanting to do something creative, and
okay.
And we had dope conversations, and we've always been like we used to call it like ahead of the curve conversations. We talk about stuff,
So it was a natural segue.
and it was just kind of like a natural thing. Hey, he used to do music. I've done music in the past, but it was just there was a mic there.
I still need to hear my Johnny P verse, dog. I ain't got me one yet, bro. You gonna need to bust that joint out, dog.
Hey.
I'm not gonna lie. So this is what you gotta understand. You get Johnny with enough of that Johnny Walker, right? and you just got the instrumentals playing.
Oh, here, get off.
Oh, Johnny, he'll freestyle. Me and Johnny done had freestyle sessions.
I ain't no rapper.
You ain't got nothing to do after this, right?
I ain't no.
He ain't got nothing to do. but listen, here's the thing though. Johnny let me down one time.
Cause I ain't no rapper. This man thought I was a rapper.
It was a whole bunch of non-rappers, and we just was in the kitchen, had the music playing, and you do like the 4-bar pass it type.
Yeah.
And I actually threw it to Johnny because me and him then had like the 30-40 minute freestyle session, and I talked to him, and Johnny dropped the ball.
Nah, I looked at man like he
Dropped the
crazy. I
ball.
was like, I ain't no rapper. What you doing? There's people out here.
My was like,
I ain't no rapper, but I've done music. I used to make beats. I've done like audio engineering and stuff in the past, but I ain't no rapper.
let a down. My bad.
Yeah, no.
But,
I answered the question too.
yeah.
So what got me into it to be, and it's crazy that John, you had your own your podcast John, going on, and for me as well, I was having one. And what was I guess the inspiration for me was like little moments of the I Am Athlete podcast.
Okay,
Yeah,
So there are moments.
another
good one.
There are moments
Another
where
good
you
one.
see that vulnerability, and so for me, if you know what I mean, if you I hang my hat on being vulnerable. You know what I mean? So I was going to start one Man to Men, the Man to Men podcast. I mean, me and my brother had started working on it. But it, you know what I mean, the feel it, and then I'll also say too, because of the fact that me and Quint done worked on a lot of different things together over the years.